What up, you Tobin? This is your boy Stevie. It is late here at the Casa de Stevie. And, yeah, I just wanted to get on real quick and talk to you guys about, because the Lord, sometimes I get hit with something and it's like, I need to do a video on that and my hair's a mess because I've been working out because I'm fat and I'm tired of being fat. So I'm trying to lose my fat. Anyhow. But yeah, uh, and yep, you're seeing a lot of Stevie today. Look at you can see a lot more on my neck. I'm wearing a wife beater while I teach y'all about the Bible. Rather bring up points. I like doing stuff like that because like there's so much dead religion around dress in church, and like people act like if the dude ain't wearing a suit, he can't teach you. Like, oh, he's not wearing a suit, he doesn't know the Bible yet. We got to wait till he's got a suit on. Like, it's ridiculous. And not only that, but you know how expensive suits can be. I mean, you can catch them on the steal at like Goodwill, but most of the time, like, I just got these dress shoes, like, at Walmart for $3. Like, and look, you can't even tell. Like, those don't look like no $3 shoes. So, I mean, I get if it's something like that, you've probably seen my little dinner table. But, it's messy. But, I just had a real late dinner. So, get my workout in and whatever. I just was all laid up for a few weeks, and now my body's starting to say, all right, well, we're healed. So I'm getting back on it, because if I don't work out, I will either be super muscular or super fat, like, or both. There's no, my body, I I'll never be a skinny man. If I am, that'd be something. But I probably was in a starvation situation if that happened. Anyhow, so enough muttering on about nonsensical things that aren't related to the topic at hand. Stephen. But the thing is yeah, I just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about Calvinism. And so, all right, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know all the details of theology, okay? I don't sit there and study the reformers intensely. I study some of what they've said, but I don't know all their freaking points, okay? You know why? Because my main book's the Bible. Man, I look like I got a lazy eye, don't I? I do. Anywho, I'm sorry, like, this is the stuff I think about. Like, I'm bad. You gotta see me. Like, I'll be thinking some really intense thoughts, and just like squirrel, there it goes. Anyhow, but so yeah. Thing is, though, I don't know all the details of theology. Okay, like I know there's Calvinism, there's Arminianism, there's Wesleyanism. Sounds legit. But thing is, though, is I don't know all the details. I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do. But from what I do know, see, because I read the Bible first, then I, you know, go and uh, I go and see what matches up to the Bible from my understanding, which is what we should all do. A lot of people will go doctrine first. And this is what most people do, I find. In a lot of these churches, they will go doctrine first. And if they see something in the Bible that refutes their doctrine, they will go doctrine first before they go Bible, then doctrine. Because then they'll say something to the degree of like, well, I must just be misunderstanding it because all these other guys know the Bible way more than me, so they think. And maybe in some cases, you might know the Bible better than the people who you think are your superiors. That's what happened to me. Blew my mind when I started realizing it too. Is when you're getting humbled by the Lord, and trying to be humble so you don't get a spanking. Sometimes you throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I was just talking with a brother the other day about this. And, yesterday, I think it was. And, sometimes you may know more than you think you do. But, yeah. Like, thing is, though, yeah, I scratched my back with a spoon. Anyhow. But, it itched. So, thing is, try to get some chores done here. Thing is, though, yeah, a lot of people have that going on, and there's so many of these little boys clubs that go on in these churches. It's disgusting, and ticks me off. And they will tell you that you kind of like have to go by the pecking order before you're allowed to preach or whatever. Like, I recently heard of a guy who's got a great heart, and I honestly, I haven't seen him in a few years, so I don't really know if he, ever grew more in the Lord, but I just recently heard this guy was about to do some preaching, and he does not, like, he's not very, I want to be careful how I say this, because you ain't got to be book smart to preach the word. You got to be anointed, you got to be chosen, but you ain't got to be the most book smart dude. I'm not, like, for real. I mean, I know some things, but I'm not the smartest. Not by a long shot. The thing is, this guy though, I heard about it. He just went through the channels. He went and tickled people's egos the right way and whatever, and they like him basically. And I just heard that he was going to go preach, and it's like, whoa. And I've heard this dude preach. No. Like, nuh-uh. He's not chosen to do that. Like, I don't think he is, at least. But, again, he could have grown in the Lord since the last time I've seen him. It's been a few years since I've seen him. But, still, whatever. Thing is get my protein. But, thing, I'm stupid. Thing is, though, but yeah, like, so, but with all this going on, you may know more than you think you do. And so don't go doctrine first. Go Bible first. And don't just think that you're misunderstanding something in the Bible. Maybe you're understanding it well, and you just don't know it because you're playing yourself out. That being said, I have, not to brag at all, but I've been through the Bible quite many times in this year, and honestly, it's because my friend Chris, he gave me the idea to just start listening to it while I was doing stuff, and that has got me a lot more of the Bible than I would normally get down, because honestly, like, for a page, it takes me like 10 minutes, for this page, that page, right, and for each flip, that's 10 minutes. Like, and it's like, no matter what book I read, for some reason, I don't know why my brain does that, but it does. Like, even if it's a shorter thing, like, my brain takes 10 minutes to make that flip. Don't know why. But, thing is, though, but when I'm listening to it, I can get a lot more in a lot quicker, because my brain, I'm not getting distracted and holding up progress, right? I have, it's being fed to me. And so, the thing is, and there's good wisdom in reading it, because you get better at reading and stuff like that. But just to get content down, that's a great way to get a lot of content down. Okay, it has helped me to get a lot of the Bible down. And even before that, I'd read it a couple times, right? So I think it was like 2-3 times, something like that. And so the thing is, and then I'd gone over various parts, and just done like a book study here and a book study there. And so the thing is when I first started hearing about Calvinism, and I don't know all the facets of Calvinism, okay? I don't, because I've heard some stuff that was like attached to Calvinism, and I was like, whoa, I don't believe that. But, okay. So Calvinism, from what I understand, is God predestining people to be saved. In Romans, you can read that. I believe it's in Romans 9. he talks about whom he foreknew, he predestinated to be conformed to the image of his son. And so the thing is, a lot of people really get hung up on this. It even says in there that, God formed some vessels for honor and some for dishonor. And it says, and it even says why, so that way he can show his severity, and I think his long suffering, or it's either that or forbearance. I can't remember the exact word, but it's something to that degree. And if I was really smart, I would have had this out instead of sitting here joking around. But I'm a bad little Stevie sometimes, and I don't always got all my crap together. Anyhow, but thing is though, is so yeah. But I can point you in the general direction it's at if you'd like to check it out. And I also was just listening to the book of John, and in the book of John it talks about that. It talks about like, and there's another part where it talks about how all that come to me are given to me by my Father, and that a man can't receive nothing unless it's given to him from heaven. I believe that was John the Baptist that said that in the book of John, Saint John, not First John or Second John. So the thing is from what I understand, Calvinism is about the sovereignty of God. Okay, it's what the Bible says. You cannot, and I'm to the point where, Charles Spurgeon said, which I share, if you're my friend on Facebook, you'll see, I share a lot of Charles Spurgeon. Don't know everything about the dude, but I do like a lot of the stuff he said. And, because I'd heard he was like a Freemason, I've heard all kinds of other stuff, but at the same time, dude made great points, and they were biblical. Thing is but yeah, he but he said to, and I'm paraphrasing horribly, okay, which we all know that I do a lot, but he said something to the degree of, you can't preach the gospel without preaching what is now known to be Calvinism. And it's something to that degree. And that's what he said. And so I heard, and it's very true. It's very true, because what it talks about is that, again, God is sovereign, and he, whom he did predestinate, he did foreknow, or whatever, something like that. And the thing is it glorifies God, okay? And this is what a lot of people don't understand, because a lot of people will use John 3:16, and they'll say, well, who, it says that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son for whoever believed whatever, I'm talking about a hope. If not, look it up. John 3:16, Saint John, not First John or Second John. But thing is but for you to believe, it was given to you by God. It was, because you can't believe in something like that. You can't believe that God came down from heaven, right? And, lived a sinless life, fulfilled the Jewish law, and died a sacrificial death to reconcile us to him from our fallen state that we had inherited from Adam and Eve's mistake. Well, Adam, she wasn't Eve when they were in the Garden of Eden. But they were just Adam. They were that one being that, anyhow, but that's a subject of its own. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. So anyhow, thing is yeah, so but you can't believe that unless you have been given that divine revelation. And honestly, not only that, but it says, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. it also says that whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth. Like, as a son, if you don't go without being, corrected, you're not a son, you're a bastard. And so the thing is you are chosen, you know, and that's the thing. Like, that's what salvation is. And you have to believe, but that's not something you do of your free will. Okay, you can't make yourself believe something. You could try. You can make yourself all delusional, but you can't make yourself believe something. You really can't. Like, you can come close, unless you, well, I shouldn't say, because if you are delusional, you really believe it. But the thing is, that was something you couldn't help. That was something that just happened. And this is how it is with faith. So, anywho. So, yeah. So the thing is, and not only that, but like when you look at like John, I think it was the Apostle John, or either him or Peter. I think it was Peter, who, said that, when Jesus asked, who do you say that I am? And he says, you are the Christ of God, and I think it was Peter, said, blessed are you because, because flesh hasn't revealed this to you, but God, and so the thing is belief is a gift from God. And so the thing is anybody who believes, this was people that were brought to God by God. And so this whole thing's grace. Salvation is the grace of God. And it's nothing short of that. And like, I get irritated with Arminians because they really think they had anything to do with their salvation. It's like, dude, the only thing that you contributed to your salvation was your sin. Okay? Like, no, they'll be like, well, I'm the one who had to believe, and they don't even understand how cocky that sounds. Like, I made myself believe. No, you did not. You didn't choose to believe. You can either believe or not believe. That's not something you choose. If you think that, you don't know very much about the human mind, philosophy, deep thoughts. You can't choose that. Okay? You can't choose to believe that water's wet. You know it. And you can't choose to believe when you're walking up steps that next step's going to support you. You either believe it or you don't. And so the thing is it's given to you by God. And so then people think you can lose your salvation, right? Well, no. You cannot lose your salvation. The question is, do you actually have it? I think it was the Apostle Paul who talked about some people who departed from the faith. And he said, if they were of us, they, basically would have still had the faith. They wouldn't have gave up. Because that faith stays. And not only that, but real faith changes you. You're not allowed to just, the Lord doesn't let you do certain things. He doesn't let you get away with much, okay? I'm serious, and because people say, "Oh, that means that if you claim to be a Christian and you go out and murder somebody, you're still saved." It's like, why would you? If you have a relationship with God, why would you murder somebody? That's insane. That just doesn't work. Because it says you're born again, all things have become new. And then people say that, well, you're the one who's got to get born again. It's like, you didn't birth yourself into this life, did you? No. What makes you think you being born again is something that you do? Like, and the more you think about stuff like this, because I used to be an Arminian. I was a Pentecostal man. Well, I was in a Pentecostal church, like Pentecostal by default. And so the thing is like, and I thought all this stuff. And I was sitting there, I would sit there and say, it's heresy. Once saved, always saved is heresy. And I probably even put that on here somewhere. I hope I didn't. But, keep in mind, like, I've done some growing since, I started this. But the thing is yeah, like, the fact, telling people they can lose their salvation is heresy. The thing is, but again, it's, are you really saved? So, are you saved or are you deceived? Sorry, I gotta get that protein in. Anywho. But, yeah. So the thing is, yeah. You can't lose your salvation. It was given you, it's a gift of the grace of God. It's God showing mercy on you and pulling you out of hell. Okay? Like, Arminianism glorifies man. This glorifies God. And it's the truth. It is the gospel, which is you couldn't save yourself. That's not how it works. This had to be given to you by God. Okay? Like, so if you are saved at all, it is God in his sovereignty showing mercy on you. And that's the whole Bible. I mean, that is echoed through the whole Bible. And search it out and read that Bible. Get your King James Version, a real Bible, and read it in order. Like, and if it doesn't got the Apocrypha, get the Apocrypha. Get a hold of the Book of Enoch, because sometimes it's not included in the Apocrypha. The Book of Enoch, and from what I understand, the Ethiopian version is the best version. From what I currently understand, I could be wrong on that, but thing is that read the non-canonical books. Decide for yourself, but read the canonical first. That's what I would advise, so that way you see the theme, And, because there's also, like, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and there's part of the Dead Sea Scrolls that are kind of like, hang on, this doesn't go with the theme here. Like, this is probably bullcrap. Like, I think it was the Book of Judas that was, like, bullcrap or something like that. I can't remember which one it was, but it was bad. But, yeah, so thing is, and some people will be like, oh, this reveals deep secrets, and it's like, no, it doesn't. It just gives you an excuse for your flesh. Like, it's just man making some crap up along the way, which that's all over the place. But yeah, so thing is but search it out through the whole scripture. I mean, you will see the sovereignty of God, and all man does is screw everything up. I mean, that's the whole Bible. It is man screwing everything up, God swooping in and saving the day. And that's what your salvation is. It's not of you. It's not by strength, not by might. It's a gift of grace, not given by works, lest any man should boast. And very popular scripture. And there's reasons for that. Because you can't earn it. You can't lose it. The big question, though, is, do you got it? Because if you got it, he keeps you. And he doesn't let you do certain things. Like it says, no drunkard enters the kingdom of heaven. He doesn't let you be a drunkard. Like, I've had it where I've, like, had a couple beers. Like I'll have a beer one day, and then I'll go have a beer the next day, and whatever. And I'm not putting some time between my beers, right? And, like, I've gotten chastened for it, Like, you let me know, like, you're skating on thin ice, buddy. And, like, not saying you're going to lose your salvation, but, you don't you don't go against what he says. I mean, well, sometimes you do, but then you get in trouble. You gotta repent and ask for forgiveness, but you're not going to hell for it, you know. And so the thing is like, cause you're his son and he loves you, and if you really have salvation, you love him. You try to please him. You live for him. He is the Lord of your life. And if he's not the Lord of your life, you don't got salvation. You got deception. Like I know there's a lot of people out there, they just live however they want to live. And then they act like they're saved. And it's like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, you ain't got to go around in denim skirts and whatever to be saved. Like, you don't. Now, if that helps you, you find that edifying, more power to you. But, yeah. Thing is, though, is like, and you should dress modestly, is to not be a stumbling block for people and whatever. And, it is a good thing to dress modestly. But you don't got to staple your skirt to your socks, you know? So, thing is, though, is like, but there are so many people, they walk on eggshells as to not lose their salvation. And it's good to want to please God. It is good to live a self-sacrificial life in God's service. That's what we're called to do. That's what we're saved for. But that's not what we're saved by. Okay? And the thing is ultimately, like, and then that leads to a lot of Phariseeism. I have seen and I used to hear a dude, and he used to say, "Ain't nothing meaner than a bunch of dead, dried up religion." He wasn't kidding, because a lot of these people that do this stuff, they're meaner than I can't even think of an analogy. Like, they're just mean, and it's like, and they make you feel really uncomfortable being around them. Like, because they like are ready to nip your heels over every little thing you do. It's one thing if you're kicking false doctrine. It's one thing if you're leading people astray, stuff like that. But over everything, you know. But yeah. So the thing is, you can't lose your salvation. It's given you by grace. Everything's in, and that leads you to worship God in spirit and truth. You're thankful, you know, and you're grateful for what he's done for you. And then you start realizing, like, I didn't do this. This was all a gift from God. He adopted me into his family, you know, and I didn't earn this. If anything, the only thing I ever earned was hell. But God said, no, not you, and pulled me out of it. And that is nothing but a gift of God. That is nothing but a miracle of God. That's what this whole thing's about. And there's so many people, they act like they save themselves. It's like, you know, why? Where in the Bible do you get that? And they don't get it from the Bible. They get it because they don't understand the Bible as well, as well as they think they do. And I've got friends that are of this persuasion. And the thing is like, it's like, dude, how do you relax? Like, how do you relax if you think I think I've got friends with this persuasion. I don't really know where they stand on the losing their salvation part, but if you think you're going to lose your salvation, dude, how do you not how are you not permanently stressed out? I was. All right, I'm going to have to make a part two. Hang on.